Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to PSGL. George Morgan here, your commentator, alongside me, TK, who is going to be rounding off the season with me.
Down the inside,
Absolutely impossible scene.
This is for the win between these two.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
He needs to get it done now.
Blakey will dive to the inside.
We're robust, we've got our elbows out.
Ronar takes the lead.
Because here comes Alfie Butcher.
Can't really complain with that one.
It's not going to be easy. The pressure is on, of course.
Yana Watmere is your champion.
After a fortnight away, PSGL F2 returns. Hello everyone and welcome to Austin, Texas, where it is time to continue a season which has delivered us with some fantastic racing action throughout as well. In the commentary box, my name is Omi, delighted to be with you as per normal, and alongside me, as you can see, we've had a little change up. We've got Nathan Richards, who has quickly popped himself in, joining me in the commentary box. And well, Nathan, an interesting race coming up here in Austin, Texas.
Indeed. Very last minute I got subbed in here this evening. So, yes, don't expect me, guys, to know who's wearing the standings and know who did well last round or who's done bad, because I'll be honest, I haven't had time to keep up with everything. So, I got called in around 8 minutes ago because, unfortunately, Byron's internet has died. But we got everything set up last minute, thanks to our JSON file, which we had an argument about earlier on. But it's actually worked out, and I've got everything set up. And before we head into the race, we're going to take a quick look at on your screen so we can see who is where. And at the moment, it's, well, been quite a dominant display by Angelo D'Ortenzio. Lead the standings by 19 points to Liam Stevens, who sits on 64 ahead of Leo Lund in third, who, unfortunately, it seems had a DNF last time out. And then Jan Halliday and Luca Rapassa round off the top 5. And then there's a big gap, 18 points, back to Pasquale Ranieri in 6th, ahead of Sergio Sobrino, Riccardo Benzoni, Nelson Alves, and then one of our reserves, Andre Molnar, reigning off the top 10. So, as it seems, Omi, so far, it's a dominant display by Angelo, but Liam Stevens with a couple of, I suppose you could say, poor results in the last couple of rounds for his level. That's probably why he's named 19 points back. If Angelo didn't get the dominant second, first, it'd probably be a lot closer.
It absolutely would. It has been so close throughout, and it's really this point where, with a back-to-back win for D'Ortenzio, with the second place that you mentioned, he's been able to extend his legs and extend his advantage as well, and it has gone and worked out for him quite well. On the attack and then some when it comes to one-lap pace, but it's a challenging circuit when it does come to said one-lap pace. Quite a challenging venue for the drivers to get right, and then of course it all comes down to thousandths usually here in PSGL PCF2 qualifying, and qualifying is very important because we know the dirty air and the effect it can also have when it comes to the race.
Yep, certainly. Always very, very high octane here in qualifying in F2. I've commentated here, I think, since season 34. I've done 3 full seasons here, and the qualifying in F2 is better than it has been in any other series I've ever commentated on. It is always so close up at the top ends of things, and also near the back as well. You do get some small gaps between those fighting for the last points positions, and that also means there's a lot of pressure on those guys who normally we don't expect to see in those points paying positions. But the first car to complete a lap will be Ben Shabakonyi, I believe, just heading through into the final couple of corners now, when the Alpine, of course, has been here longer than God's dog in the F1 esports scene. Of course, has been part of the Haas Alpine team as well in the past for the F1 Pro Series. Heads up to the line, and it will be a 130.392 for his banker here in this session. Then next will be Tony Hietala.
It will be indeed the driver who started the season off, of course, with pole position. Our only driver, bar D'Ortenzio, to be able to call themselves a pole sitter this season. It is Hietala, then Stouchilek, at the moment getting himself up into second place. So tight margins, tight gaps, as we would expect at the front of the field, as more and more drivers rotate their way through. and get themselves ready to come across the line as well in a few moments time. So 4 interesting lap times. Let's see what Imtiaz is going to do as well. One of our contenders this season who's had a best qualifying result of P9. He's had that on 2 occasions so far this season, and he comes across the line, of course, the slowest time so far, 1 minute 30.487, as Laurie Tulke goes into second place and Leo Lund into P3.
Indeed, and many cars having invalidations here on their first laps. There's all that for Gabel Chontos, Angelo D'Ortenzio. I think Sergio Sobrino as well must not have been Sergio, but somebody else as well had a lap time invalidation, as it is VCARB 1-2 currently with Tony and Luca Rapassa. And let's see what Sobrino can do here in the Mercedes, as Conrad Boehm goes P5 and Sergio Sobrino goes back into the pit lane. What about Gabriel Quintino, who's just heading through sector 2, and Jan Halliday goes to the top of the timings with a 1:30.088. Next is Pasquale Ranieri, goes only 13th fastest with a 1:30.678. Certainly not a representative time for him, and I think the next car to cross the line with a lap will be Gabriel Quintino.
Will be indeed, and he's going to try and push on in that McLaren. He's backed out of it by the looks of things at the moment, so he's going to abandon that. And it looks like also Angelo D'Ortenzio, not full attack for him at the moment as well. We're so used to his name shooting straight up to the top of our leaderboard when it comes to qualifying this season. We'll have to wait a little bit longer to see whether he can get on pace with Jan Halliday, who has been third in every single race so far this season from round 4 onwards. So that is how great Jan Halliday has been. Very consistent, lots of P3s, but when you get so many P3s, I'm sure he'll be desperate to try get second and maybe even grab a win by the end of tonight's contest.
Certainly, and I think a 1:30.0 is certainly a lap time that's I think even if he keeps that lap and doesn't improve anymore, he'll probably be top 5, because I think pole in F3 was a 1:30.0, so that is a really good lap time there by Jan Halliday. Also for Tony too, to be sitting in P2 so far, of course ahead of his teammates Luca Rapassa, and then Larry Tulke and Leo Lund running off that top 5 as things stand, as of course Rishon Jacobs did set a lap, but a 1:38 is certainly not representative, so he'll be looking to go again shortly too, to get his first proper lap on the board. And then Tony straight out of the pits, looking to go again here. So early, going for his second lap, 11 minutes to go in this session. Let's see what Tony's able to muster up here on this one.
Will be the question at the moment, as he will make his way out onto the outlap as well, and he would absolutely love to get a pole position. It really can set your mood of the type of evening that you are going to have as well, and he's been trying to catch the momentum this season, has Hietala, from the high start of Austria. It has only been a best result of 10th, and you've had DNFs also mixed around all of those results of outside the points, so it has not been the season for Hietala, considering the promise that he started it off with. So he'll absolutely love to bounce back, and he finds himself all the way down 19th in our points battle. So keep an eye out for him. He'll be a driver who's been trying to find some form, and after a 2-week break, I mean, it's a perfect time to try and get some momentum going to end and finish off this season on a high.
Certainly is, as we can see Tony now just heading through into the final couple of corners, looking to begin his second lap of the session. Of course, as we can see, just under half a tenth away from the lap time of Jan Halliday. Let's see what he can do. Heading into that final corner, of course, prepare your lap. Go as deep as you can, and then straight onto the power here for Tony. DRS open, battery being used as you head your way up to turn 1, and hopefully these cars here do keep out of the way, which they do. They saw Tony come in, and they waited for him just to get through that first corner, and then they can continue on their outlaps as Tony now through turns 2 and 3 in towards the horrible snaky Mickey Mouse section here of Sector 1. Very easy to mess up here and run a little bit wide, and also easy to sometimes cut too much to that inside on some of the apexes. But he takes it nicely so far, up over the crest at turn 9 and then down the hill towards turn 10, and his Sector 1 was decent indeed, but of course still has 2 sectors to go. Then here down towards turn 11, where they did change the track limits there, so you can't fully cut the inside like you was able to in the past. So that is also probably why some of the lap times are a little bit slower than what we would have had in previous patches and updates of the game. And then heading to the end of Sector 2, Omi, this looks decent so far for Tony Hirtala.
Decent, but can he keep it up? 300s is what he's up by at the moment. He'll want to try and continue that and find some more as he tries to get ahead of Jan Halliday, our current pole sitter, with 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go. And then we make our way through this fast part of the circuit, absolutely foot to the floor stuff. Arrive down into turn number 19. Turn number 20 will follow, keep it within the white lines. That'll be the aim for the Racing Bulls man, as he will get on the power now, will come across the line and will look to try go to the top. That is exactly the case. So 1 minute 30.007, and that is now your new lap time to beat. Let's see who's going to be able to get on terms and try and contend, as a lot of drivers on their outlaps or are already pushing on through that first or second sector.
Indeed, and next to cross the line here will be Piotr Staklek, but unfortunately has an invalidation. So after him it will be Ben Shawakonyi, up by a couple of tenths and nearly impeded there by Williams' car. Heading through in towards turn number 19, then in towards turn number 20. Let's see what the Alpine driver can do. P9 after the first laps were put on the board. What can he set here? This time around it will be P6, an improvement there, with a 130.224. Let's have a look here at Larry Talk. He was a tenth and a half down in Sector 1. Luca Rapassa, though, finding time in Sector 2, but only 10 thousandths of a second here. So has to try and cook up something special here in Sector 3 if he wants to try and take that provisional pole spot away, or even take that provisional front row spot away.
And it's exactly what all of these contenders will want as we fight our way through then on this lap. Plenty of drivers improving. One of them includes Liam Stevens, who might be second in the points battle, but finds himself all the way down in 12th when it comes to our timing board. Rapassa comes into the pit lane. Stevens rounds turn number 20, will send it across the line. P4, that is more like it for the Aston Martin man, but still more drivers improving, including Leo Lund. So there's drivers still who are evolving with this circuit, getting quicker and quicker at the same time. And we usually see the order change when it comes to these sessions, and we've also got some more changes coming in to play. So Hirtala still quickest of all. Jan Halliday, though, looking like a driver who might be able to get closer to that time, but he needs to make a little bit more of a buffer when it comes to the third sector. He needs to go a little bit more quicker, because it looked like he was just slightly down when he made his way through the second sector split. Let's see what he can do in the final two corners now.
Indeed, and I'm just going to, well, I'll go on board with Conrad after. We'll go on board with Jan Halliday as he heads through into the final corner now. Let's see. What can the Aston Martin man do? Can he try and take that provisional pole spot away to the line? No. Does improve, but not enough for position. Next we have Conrad Boehm to the line. Goes second fastest. A brilliant lap there from the McLaren. Puts him 5 thousandths away from Tony Hirtala. And then there's still a couple more cars to cross the line. I think we have Angelo on a lap. We'll have to keep an eye on him, of course. Invalidated the last one that I saw him on, but I'm not sure if he went again and has got enough fuel to go again, that's for sure, as he heads down towards turn 11. Late on the brakes, gets the car feeding through there. Let's see what his sector 2 is. I don't think it's a valid sector at all yet, 4 seconds off, so that won't be a competitive lap there set by Angelo. I'm just trying to see who next is looking to cross the line. I'm not sure if Christian Jacobs is on a lap. No, he's not, so I think only for now, that's all of our laps being set here in this session.
Yep, when it comes to the second run, that looks to be it. Boehm, who's had a best result this season of P5. I remember we were following his lap when it came to Qatar a fortnight ago for our previous round. And he was the first driver when it came to the final run to come across the line, impressing us with a lap time. So when it comes to qualifying, he's a driver who has got some momentum, is finding the pace over one lap. It all comes down to, can he keep it together when it comes to the race situation, the race conditions, because unfortunately he ended with 11th last time out in round number 7 after a strong qualifying result for him. So he'll be hoping to convert his result from this session into the race, where of course we award those points, 16 for the winner, and then it goes down to 12 for second and 10 gets given to third place, and we have points all the way down up until P10. You can also get a bonus point, of course, for pole position at the end of this session, and we no longer award a point this season when it comes to the fastest lap.
Indeed. Lots to digest there from Omi about all these different point systems, and I think Listen, I don't mind the PSGL point system being different, but the issue is I can never remember it. I mean, I've been here now for 10 seasons. I started in season 30, and I still can't remember the point system after you go 16, 12, 10, and that's it. I can't remember what the rest of the numbers are. Whereas with the real F1, I can remember it. But this one, I just can't seem to get it in my head. But yes, of course, big points for Angelo. Well, big points being lost for Angelo if he doesn't finish inside that top 10 for our championship leader. It's not really the type of result he'll be looking for at all here this evening. So he's got to hope he can get a lap time on the board and hopefully one that can score him some points, of course. Being 19 points in the lead, if he was to lose and second in the championship was to get a P1, that puts that gap down to 3 points, and that has eaten away all of that buffer that you've gained over the past few rounds. So even though he's in a very comfortable spot, it could easily become a very uncomfortable spot for Angelo D'Ortenzio, as we do see now our cars heading out onto track for their final time in this session. Of course, looking to set down their best lap times possible, and of course looking to try and go for that pole position. First car out is going to be Piotr Staklek in the Alpine, but of course being P11, probably not where he would have been expected to be, being as, well, I mean, isn't he normally a top 10 driver quite comfortably?
Absolutely. And looks like we are getting, finally, Angelo D'Ortenzio coming out. After taking 6 poles in a row, I think it was probably a conversation that was said, okay, go out there and do it with 1 lap this time. So let's see whether he's going to be able to do it. Because, yeah, he's absolutely dominated this entire field over 1 lap pace. 6 poles in a row in a tier like this is absolutely remarkable when it is so competitive, when it is so close. So I think they're doing this one on purpose. They're giving him 1 opportunity, 1 lap, go out there and try get this pole position and get to a count of 7 in a row by the end of this qualifying session as well. If not, if it doesn't work out, if he invalidates, then I guess make some overtaking from the back as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think people quite realise how dominant that is. 6 poles in a row, taking every pole position possible. If you Max Verstappen in a car that's a second quicker, expectation. But when you're in an equal car, well, they say equal, but I don't care what the esports drivers say, the cars are equal. When you're in an equal car, and literally everybody can do the exact same lap time as you, to get it consistently 6 times in a row is absolutely insane. And I don't know anyone that has done this in F2. I don't think anyone has done a 100% pole streak up until round 7. I think that's unheard of. And I think in the past, the F2 grids have been quite uncompetitive, but this season, I think we've got a pretty good F2 grid. So, brilliant by Angelo. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And so many talented drivers, so many talented drivers in this field. So to be able to constantly do it is just absolutely remarkable. And, well, he's going to try do it again. He's going to try get himself back up there. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how it is all going to play out as the drivers now begin and get ready for the push laps.
Indeed, as I am on board here with Liam Stevens, heading down towards turn number 11. Let's see what he can do here on this lap. Of course, was a championship contender, championship leader, I believe, earlier on in the season. But since has slightly dropped off as the season's gone along. I think it's P2 or 3 currently as he makes his way through into turn number 15. And then, of course, the triple right-hander, which is pretty much one long right-hander, as we do see Piotr Staklek there coming up into P4 in the Alpine. A nice lap by him there to go up near the top. And then I think we did have Luca Rapassa goes up into 3rd, just bumps ahead of Jan Halliday. Let's see what Liam Stevens can do here as Tony Hietala improves on his time by 2 1/1000ths of a second to have a .005. Liam Stevens crosses a line in 7th place, and I think the next car is not going to be Angelo, it will be his teammate Florian, who bails into the pit lane.
He does indeed. Jan Halliday across the line. That will still be 4th position. Didn't improve his time by 19 thousandths of a second as well. As they continue to try and push on and find the improvement. It is Hietala at the front. Bohm is going to maintain 2nd place. But does anyone else have an answer? Let's take a look as well as more contenders fight their way through. We have the top 8, top 9 as well at the moment as they were. Because Tulki's not going to be able to find an improvement on that time. What about Rani Elliott as he tries to find something out of turn number 20. Angelo Di Hortensio has gone top again as Ranieri goes wide. 7 poles in a row, possibly for Di Hortensio, unless someone can find the lap of their life. Here's Leo Lund across the line as well, and Leo Lund found a major improvement at the end, but not good enough to take pole. He went up to 2nd place, but guess who's on pole again? Angelo Di Hortensio continues his streak, and that's now 7 in a row for the man dressed in red.
I mean, come on, Angelo, at least turn the F1 cheats off for one race. Oh my, what a lap there, right at the end of qualifying. A 29.831, takes pole for the 7th time in a row. Hello, Max Verstappen. Leo Lund in 2nd place as well with a really good 29.9. Then we had Tony, Conrad, Luca, Jan, Piotr, Sergio, Pasquale and race the top 10. Then we had Liam, Larry, Bench, Florin, Gabriel, Andre, Gabor, Rishan and Diego. There we go. But Angelo, what a lap. Brilliant from him. Once again up at the front. But of course, you've got Leo Lund right there as well. He'll be looking to push forward and get past Angelo as soon as possible. And Omi, I'm going to ask a silly question, but do we have a restart or not?
No, we don't, as we don't have any grid penalties in this one, so we don't have a restart unless the drivers have changed stuff around over our fortnight break. But going off what we previously had this season, we shouldn't have one.
No. Well, Omi, you have the luck of taking the start. I mean, I wish you luck because turn 1 at Kota, there's always something interesting happening at that apex. Whether it's a car being sent round or someone being sent all the way off the track because of that big runoff, it does give drivers their opportunity on some occasions to purposely run wide. We've all seen it happen before, haven't we?
We have indeed, and Liam Stevens in our chat as well, in the tier chat, telling Leo Lund to get his elbows out. So, judging by all of the information I've just been told in my ear, it's going to be fun, this race start. So keep an eye on turn number 1 and enjoy it. Most of all, enjoy it, because as we've seen across the season, lap 1 can be very interesting, and then it all can just calm down a little bit, let's just say, for the remainder of the race. So enjoy the 5 red lights moment as well, with our championship leader being Angelo Di Hortensio. He's on pole, and it's an important start for him. Let's see who's going to come out on top then as we get to 5 red lights. And PSGL is underway in Austin, Texas. A good launch for Leo Lund, and he's going to be clear of the Ferrari of Angelo Di Hortensio into the first turn. Leo Lund takes the race lead. Hietala wheel to wheel with his teammate. As we see, Hietala gets some good momentum. He's putting the pressure on Di Hortensio, who uses the battery to stay ahead and is in 2nd place. It's Lund, then Di Hortensio. Hietala's in 3rd with his teammate Rapasa in behind. Then Conrad Bohm's in 5th as they try and navigate their way through. It's getting very tight. Rapasa trying to fight up against his teammate. The Racing Bulls are so close together on the opening lap. Not the traction that Hietala would have wanted. And Rapasa's fighting him as we head towards turn 11.
Indeed, and there was also some battling further back, but we'll get back to that in a moment as we do see Luca Rapasa up into 3rd place. A brilliant move there by the V-Carb, but Tony's going to look to fight back. Down towards turn 11 they go. Who will be ahead? Will it be a V-Carb or will it be a V-Carb in towards turn 11? Onto the brakes they go. It will be Hietala on the outside line as they go onto the brakes, and Lucas still keeps ahead there in P4. And I did notice as well, there was some contact between Sabrino and Halliday heading through turn number 9, so I wonder if that will get reported later on. And then, of course, we did see Pasquale and Ranieri get past both of them down towards turn number 10 as Liam Stevens there just jumping past Ray Simtiaz, and now on the back of Sergio Sabrino himself. But a very competitive start here, and Leo Lund already with a 1 second gap.
Absolutely remarkable stuff. Well, his start was lightning, and so has his entire opening tour. A near 1 second gap, and now Di Hortensio trying to claw it back in, because the 1 second, the DRS, so important as well, considering how we're expecting the strategy to be quite simple.
That was a bit of desync and contact. So sorry, Omi, but Racing Tiaz got tapped round, and in the course of it, somehow teleported across the circuit.
Oh god, poor Imtiaz as he continues his way through. Now we'll try and go chase down Gavel. Interesting stuff then at turn number 1. Well, I mean, we were expecting it on lap number 1, but I guess it came all a lap later in terms of some of the spinning and chaos we were expecting.
I mean, listen, if I was Ray Simtiaz, I'd go in the chat and say, desync, get us a restart. If I was him, because he's down in 19th outside the DRS with damage. So, you know, I'd try and play that game, say, oh, it was desync. I don't know if it was or if it was just lag, but it looked very odd on my screen at least. So hopefully none of those issues arise again, because if they do, that's not going to be ideal for those at the back.
Yeah, I think that is fair to say as well. Rishan Jacobs up 6 places. He's had a great start. All the way up in 12th position now. So he is absolutely pushed on and is fighting his way through at the moment. So what a great start it has been for the Williams driver who has been fighting his way through the season. Finds himself 16th when it comes to our championship standings. The best result of 8th, which came earlier on in the season. And he's going to be looking to try and match that and beat that if possible. With the evidence of it, he's got quite a lot of pace, so he's going to give himself a good chance of that as Gabor comes in and becomes our first retirement of the evening.
I mean, I feel bad for Gabor because I feel like every time I see him wherever it is, whether it's PSGL, WOR, he's always in contact on the first 5 laps and ends up retiring. I do feel sorry for the guy. So unfortunately, Gabor is out of this race on lap 2 of 28. Big shame there for the Haas. And, well, certainly he's not going to be happy with that one. But I've noticed as well, there's been a few times where a few drivers have dropped outside the 1 second, but they seem to burn the battery and get back into that 1 second gap quite quickly. So I think if drivers are dropping outside the 1 second, we shouldn't immediately assume they're going to struggle, because it seems that for some reason they can immediately get back within a second, as here we have a move for the lead of the race. Angelo D'Ortenzio to the inside of Leo Lund and does go ahead. Leo, though, will try and attack him into turn 13, but can't quite get alongside, and D'Ortenzio back up into the lead.
Absolutely feisty stuff then between them, the two drivers, who, if everyone remembers back to Imola and what happened there, as they were battling for the win in the wet conditions, it was a penalty that day for Angelo D'Ortenzio. It was the victory for Leo Lund, as they took each other miles off the racetrack in the gravel and somehow kept themselves fighting for the win and pointing in the right direction. One of the more chaotic races, along with that start incident that we had, a pile-up in PCF2 that we had at Imola as well. So these two fighting, they've had history this season, in terms of having to also get the stewards involved. So let's see how this one's going to go. D'Ortenzio doesn't want to have any of that. He's trying to get the gap, but it's ebbing and flowing. It is definitely ebbing and flowing. Leo Lund gaining back the time. As you were just talking us through earlier on, the drivers are using quite a bit of the battery across different points in this race, so they're getting themselves back in range. So hopefully it'll make our race a little bit more interesting than possibly what we had a round ago. More overtaking opportunities, of course, than the Lucelle International Circuit, where I think everyone wanted a change for the lead. We didn't get any in that race as well, but hopefully today will be slightly different and we will have a battle that goes all the way down till the end.
I'm sure we will. And the reason why I know we'll have a good battle is because Leo Lund's involved. So he always loves to give us a little bit of drama and a little bit of action. So I'm not worried at all whether we'll have a battle in the last lap, because Leo Lund will certainly give us one. As we do see there, a move happening by Jan Halliday, and I clicked on him at the perfect time as he is looking to try and get past Pasquale Ranieri. Ooh, that was nearly a bit of contact up the inside for Halliday. Into turn 15, looking to go for the up and under. Can't quite get ahead of Pasquale Ranieri. He stays in 8th for now as we continue our way on shortly onto lap 5 of this race. And I have had a bit of intel about strategies. It seems it will be a medium hard. They picked quite early, so around lap 8 to lap 10, because of the fact you, in quotes, can't overtake at this track. So they have to go for an undercut. That's what I've been told, so there we go. Let's see if... Diego's got 10 seconds in the pit lane, and he's... out. Never mind.
Oh God! Well, we've had that side quite a bit this season. I think it is fair to say as well. Zorza's only, I think, finished 2 races across this season as well. He started 3. This was his 4th. Unfortunately, it's 3 out of 4 when it comes to retirements, as Jacobs is battling up against Fanzelter as well.
I'm not sure if it was lag there for Florian, because Florian looks to be going quite slow. The camera angle was poor, so I couldn't really see much. I just saw the Ferrari lag back, or at least slow down, and then Rishan got past him, but then he's back behind him again. So I'm not sure if there's lag there for Florian. Let's hope there isn't, because that would not be ideal for Rishan, and we've been told there's desync as well. So hopefully it doesn't affect the race too much, as we are only on lap 5. So that's not really a good start, is it?
Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal, I think it is. Fair to say. But as we currently make our way through these stages of the race then at the moment. So Rapassa now finding himself in a position of just assessing the situation. He's moved up 2 places. He'll be happy with that, and now he'll look to try to see what he can do with the strategy. What can he try build upon this as well? The undercut, the overcut, we were just talking about it. If you are a driver in third, trying to jump, trying to make some progress, very, very vital. And I think a lot of races this season have been decided due to that factor. As here we go again, Molnar gets a 10-second time penalty coming in. And oh, we've not got the retirement message yet. Maybe he's actually just coming in for a pit stop. Here we go.
I mean, oh, he's having a front wing as well.
Oh, there we go.
Going for the full quota here in the pit lane. I suppose he's hoping that there's a safety car. Well, I don't think he's hoping, he needs one. Otherwise, he's down and out of this race, unfortunately, in terms of scoring points. So, yes, he needs a safety car within the next 10 or 15 laps, and that'll do him right, not nicely indeed.
Penalty as well. Penalty galore at the moment. They continue on.
Oh, he's got
as
damage.
you see Sabrino also pick one up.
Yeah, Sabrino's got damage on that car, so I'm not sure if there was any contact there between himself and Liam Stevens, possibly, as we head down towards turn 11, and Liam pulling out of the slipstream there of Sergio Sabrino to keep that engine nice and cool, or at least as cool as it could possibly be. And there, Race Imtiaz getting past Gabriel Quintino, those two not having the best of starts here. Of course, I'm not sure what happened to Gabriel, but obviously Race Imtiaz did get spun around at turn 1 on lap 3 of this race, so not gone too well for him, as we do see Rishan Jacobs back ahead of Florian van Zelta. And can he keep it ahead this time? There's a slight bit of contact between the two. Rishan is going to try and hold it all the way around the outside. Can he get ahead of Florian? Not on this occasion. Still in P12 for Jacobs, as he's looking to the inside into turn 20.
Is indeed. Still nothing to separate them, and it's going to be Van Zelta who will stand on the power and just be ahead at the moment as well. Jacobs will have to sit in behind unless he goes for a lunge into the first turn. It looks like he will attempt said move, and he's going to find his way past, up 7 places from where he started the race. 11th position now, and that's 1 away from getting himself into the points. And at the same time, Ben Sabaconi also came into the pit lane as well on lap number 7 out of 28.
Indeed, so early stops here for Shabakogni and Molnar, but of course Andre Molnar not in the best position, having changed that front wing on his car. But here we have Piotr Staklak, the teammate of Ben Shabakogni, and I presume that they're probably in the same call, getting engineered by probably the same person, so I'd imagine that Piotr won't be that far away himself from heading into the pits and having a change of tyres, as here we do see Liam Stevens on the back of Sergio Sabrino. Is it a move by the Aston Martin? It certainly will be, or at least an attempt to the inside at turn 11. Can he get ahead of the Mercedes? They still head it side by side into turn 12 and 13. Liam Stevens looking to go all the way around the outside, has the inside for 14 and 15. And what a move there by Liam Stevens. Does jump up into the top 9, gets ahead of Sabrino, and now he's just behind his teammate.
Absolutely just behind his teammate at the moment indeed. So let's see how this battle is going to now start to unfold. As we see Stamchinek also getting that 3-second time penalty coming into play. And Conrad Bohm coming into the pit lane and also getting himself a 10-second time penalty, speeding in the pit lane.
Yep, Sergio too. I'm not sure if that was a planned retirement, being as he just clicked retire straight away. Well, that's what, 4 cars now with speeding in the pit lane penalties. Not ideal, to say the least. I mean, at this point, we're pretty much guaranteeing people points now. Big shame there for Conrad, Sergio, and then I think as well it was, I don't know if it was Diego was the one that also got a 10-second penalty. Not ideal for him and Andre as well. We continue our way on. And yes, a big shame there for Conrad Bohm, who was definitely going to be fighting for a top 5 place there, but has no chance in the world of that happening right now. As we do see, the gaps are starting to increase. We've still got this little battle here between Van Zelta and Jacobs. That's for P9, and somehow they've dropped off like, what, a second from Liam Stevens in the past lap. So I'm not sure what's happened there.
Yeah, some stuff definitely going on when it comes to that battle. Quite a lot going on out there on the circuit. Not in terms of wheel to wheel, but there is quite a lot as well of games and gaps that are starting to form. Imtiaz fights his way getting through there on Quintino, who drops back in behind. Those two have been going at it for a few laps now. And we're on lap number 8 out of 28 here at Austin, Texas. Round number 8 of the season this is, and then of course we'll be heading over to Suzuka, to Vegas, Brazil, and we'll end the season in Mexico City. But for now, we have a lot of our contenders. Our race leader coming into the pit lane as well. So does Quintino. He's got a 3-second time penalty for going wide out to turn number 19. But yes, lots of our contenders come in this lap.
Indeed, and the top 5 currently that are staying out, it's Rapasa, Halliday, Stevens, Van Zelta and Imtiaz. Everybody else has bailed into the pit lane and will be getting onto a brand new set of hard tyres. And of course, look at where Conrad Boma be if he didn't have that penalty. Comes out just ahead of Tony here, Tala, and that just shows that undercut does work when you go into that tyre 1 lap earlier, and that does put Conrad now in a better position. It's just a shame that he has that 10-second time penalty, but of course if a safety car does come into play, he could pit and serve that penalty and then of course go to the end. But without that, he's really going to struggle to get some points here in this race as we continue our way on. But of course our net race lead still is D'Ortenzio ahead of Leo Lund, then it's Bohm, Hietala and then Stakelek, the top 5. But of course Piot as well has taken a penalty, 3 seconds for track limits, so he's also going to drop down a position or 2. And then Andre Molnar, to make his day even worse, takes another penalty to the checkbook.
As indeed, as they get themselves on the brakes for turn number 12, if they are Hietala and Stauchilek all close together, both behind Conrad Bohm at the moment. And meanwhile, Molnar's gained a position as well, but then gone in slightly deep, and it opens the door for Quintino to take the place. Meanwhile, you've also got Larry Tulke involved in the battle. Lots of cars, not separated by anything at the moment. And Tulke with a lunge to the inside of both of them to momentarily take the place. And now Quintino will try fight back. All the while, Rapasa comes in. And then we finally get to single file stuff as we approach the end of the lap.
Of course, and let's see now where Luca Rapasa comes out in this race. Was P3 before the pit stops. It's going to be close here with Conrad Bohm. Does Conrad get ahead of Luca Rapasa? As they heading to turn 1, no, Luca Rapasa does get out ahead, but he's 1.6 seconds back here from London D'Ortenzio, so has some work to do here to catch back up to the 2 race leaders. Of course, went for that 1 lap overcut and hasn't helped him, but he hasn't lost that much time, that's safe to say here for Luca Rapasa. So he's going to put those newer tyres to work to try and bring that gap down and get back within DRS as we continue our way on. Lap 10 of 28 here in this race, so 18 laps to go in this one, and our top 4 still yet to pit in the Aston Martin team. They've got probably 1 car coming in this lap, and then, well, I presume it'll be Liam will have to come in a lap later, so he's going for a very heavy overcut on those medium tyres. We'll go to a set of the hards, and then, of course, a plan to go to the end here.
Absolutely. Did let's have that in mind at the moment, as will all of them, as they get themselves through this 3rd sector as well. And currently D'Ortenzio and Lund, the 2 debating our race win, about to get also onto the back of Imtiaz as well. There's 2.3 seconds between them at the moment, but very close between our top 2, our net top 2 when it comes to this race as well. So Lund absolutely keeping himself as a contender and trying to make this one a battle, go all the way till the end, and also to stop Angelo D'Ortenzio from starting a streak of race wins instead, because it would be 3 in a row if he is able to get it by the end of today as well. It would be a 2nd win of the campaign for Leo Lund, and he will absolutely want that after 2 challenging results of a retirement last time out in Qatar and a 15th place with a penalty at round number 5 at Silverstone that he had earlier on in the season.
Certainly, with him being around 10 points back, I believe, from Liam Stevens, the 2nd place would really help him here, bring that gap closer, because Liam Stevens, from the start he was down in P10 before the pit stops, and I think with him going that extra bit longer, he could possibly lose out a couple more positions. So Liam Stevens will not be looking for too many points, I don't think, here in this Grand Prix. So Leo Lund does have an opportunity. So does Angelo D'Ortenzio to get past Ray Imtiaz and moves up into P4. And then Leo Lund will looking to get through as quickly as possible himself ahead of the Kick Sabre. And there we go, up into P4 and 5 for Angelo and Leo Lund. And then next to follow suit will be Luca Rapasa. And this could be good here for Luca, because if Ray Imtiaz can stick within a second by the time they get to that DRS zone, Luca Rapasa will get within a second, and that means then they're all back in that DRS train. So this could be good here potentially for Luca Rapassa.
Could be indeed if he's able to continue and make his way through as well. And push on, of course, will have all the grip in the world. Imtiaz will come into the pit lane as well, but the DRS will still go the way of Rapassa. So working out quite nicely, as well as they made their way through the detection point, and that gave the rear wing, that gave the chance for the rear wing to go open for the Racing Bulls driver, closing in 1.2 seconds now to this group. D'Ortenzio coming onto the back of what would be his teammate for today's race as well, Fanzelter, reserving in tonight in place of Benzoni, who was our most recent race winner around the circuit. We came here at Kota in season 38, and he took the win that day with D'Ortenzio second, and Lukumski also found himself as a contender as well.
Indeed, and this has worked out here for Luca Rapassa. He's back within the 1 second. As now we do see Angelo and Leo prepare to get past Florian Fanzelter, who I don't think will fight that much here to get there, to let those two past. I'm sure Luca Rapassa as well will be looking to go through on the Ferrari, but he's not close enough here as they head into turn 12, and this is going to harm Luca Rapassa because he's stuck with this slower Ferrari all the way through sector 3, so he's got to try and get a move on quickly here. Has Rapassa, you can see, pushing the Ferrari into turn 15, and luckily has got ahead and is still stuck within that 1 second gap to Leo Lund. So that could have really harmed Luca Rapassa's race, but it has helped him out certainly. And next will be Conrad Bohm, looking to get past Florian Fanzelter as the first of the Aston Martins heads into the pits. It will be Jan Halliday.
Will be indeed. So he's going to make his way into pit, the driver who's been third 4 times in a row this season, looking to try and make it 5 by the end of tonight, but has a long way to go for that to be a possibility. Great to see Rapassa though in this fight now, in this train, a driver who has been in the top 5 in every race bar one, Hungary, where he was on his way to win. Then there was a moment, then it led also to some driving full of anger from that point onwards, which you could understand after him leading the way for so long, dominating that race with a few seconds worth of a gap, and then he had a moment out there in the final sector. It cost him, and then after contact later on in the race when he was in the mid-pack, he decided to retire and call it a day. It would have been a challenging moment for his campaign, and other than that, he has been in the top 5 in every single race. So he's been so consistent, and he's been in this position so many times, but he would love to be able to call himself a winner by the end of the race, as Hietala gets past Conrad Bohm there.
Indeed, a nice move there by Tony. Jumps up into that top 5, top 4, of course, once Liam Stevens heads into the pit lane. But this is going to be a difficult race for the 2 Aston Martins. Of course, they're going to have a heavy tyre offset on the others, but you've got to catch up into that DRS train and then start making moves, and that's going to be difficult here for Jan Halliday and Liam Stevens too. As Liam, is he going to head into the pits this time around? Yes, he will. So now everybody has been into the pit lane, and of course Angelo D'Ortenzio now retakes the actual lead of the Grand Prix ahead of Leo Lund and Luca Rapassa in 3rd, and then Tony and Conrad Bohm rounding off the top 5 with Piotr Stakelek, Pasquale Ranieri, Ben Shabakogni. Then we'll have Richard Jacobs jump up into P9, and then Jan Halliday, I presume, jump up into 10th place. As here we go, 14 laps to go, halfway point of the race. Let's see what the 2 Aston Martins can achieve.
Yep, let's see what they're going to be able to manage now from this point onwards. Halliday finds himself within the points, but will of course want to fight his way higher into it. Liam Stevens will want to go on the attack and use the advantage of those tyres as well. A few laps fresher than the drivers around them as we get ready to reach half race distance. Lap number 14 out of 28 around a circuit which has always delivered us with drama when it comes to PCF2. Of course, we were talking about season 38 earlier on. We also came here in season 36 where we had a 4-way championship fight to end out F1 23. And you were in the commentary box actually that day. Quite a finale it was, and it went down to the last lap.
I wish you didn't say that because I can't remember it. Oh wait, no, was it the one with Lenny Papinta and
Yes.
Julian? Yes. Oh
Yes.
my, that was scenes. Last lap of the race, Julian pushed Lenny off the circuit, didn't he? And it gifted the championship to, I think it was Mirko in the end. I can't remember. And then I think Lenny got the championship back, didn't he?
I remember it changed as well in the stewards' room after everyone was certain that it wouldn't. So
That was an insane
it was
race.
quite it was quite a dramatic race on the circuit, and then it continued into the stewards' room as well. So yeah, quite a dramatic day, and I think quite a dramatic way to wrap up the game cycle of F1 23. It was at the time as well.
Indeed, as Piotr Stakler there, another 3-second time penalty for him. Big shame here for the Alpine driver. Not what he would have been hoping for in this race. His pace has been fine, but just too many mistakes with the track limits as we make our way through. That 15 of 28 now, just over that halfway point of this race. And there are definitely lots of moves eyeing up, as we do see Pasquale Ranieri now on the back of Conrad Bohm, who seems to be lacking in pace. Has lost quite a few positions here since he pitted. He was up in third, and now sits in P6, potentially could drop down to P7 once Ranieri looks for an attack. And then, of course, further back as well, Jan Halliday caught up onto Richard Jacobs quite quickly. He's going to have a dose of DRS, as we do see our two leaders fighting at the front, Omi.
We do indeed. Leo Lund next to Angelo Di Ortenzio. Lund trying to fight his way through, and this is going to be wheel to wheel into this third sector at the moment. Leo Lund will get himself to the front, not the ideal racing line. Di Ortenzio will get the chance to fight back, and we've got a change of lead in F2 as well coming our way. And we have been waiting all season long to have a proper fight out there on the circuit. We may just have one as well, a proper fight for the first time since that Imola race that we were talking about, and it's the same drivers who will be contesting it. But this time around, if there is anything that we saw at Imola, if there is any barging or shoving off the circuit, they've got Rapasa waiting directly in behind.
Indeed, as Conrad Bohm will retire from this race. Not ideal at all for the McLaren, and that does bump up Liam Stevens into the top 10 here in this Grand Prix. A big shame there for Conrad Bohm, who will not be continuing here this evening. So we've had 4 retirements: Bohm, Sabrino, Zorzo and Chontos here so far. I'm sure we'll probably get a couple more. As that was a bit of a dodgy move to the inside. Andre Molnar there, looking to get past Race Imtiaz. Nearly took him out on the way into turn 1. But there we are. Molnar emerges into 14th, and Imtiaz down to plumb last here in this race as we continue our way on. And of course, with the battle in from Angelo and Leo, Luca Rapassa's now in the battle, looking to try and hunt down a possible position as Leo Lund defends that inside line. To the outside goes D'Ortenzio, who takes the lead once again in this race, but Leo Lund will fight it. A lock up on the front left there for Lund. They're still side by side in towards turn number 13. Who will jump up into P2? Will it be Luca Rapassa, or will Leo Lund stay there for now as they make their way into turn 15? And still no change of position, apart from Angelo back ahead of Leo. Luca Rapassa's hungry for something, but just can't quite get ahead here of these two.
I think he'll be waiting for fireworks. He'll be waiting for an opportunity to come his way as well. They are running so close together on this circuit around the final few corners. And yes, Rapassa will know that this one could come to him as well, with Leo Lund and Angelo Di Ortenzio fighting away. But it definitely looks like, from what we're seeing in this battle, it is Leo Lund really the one who is having to take those risks. Angelo Di Ortenzio looks like the confident one, and the driver comfortable that he'll be able to get his way to the win by the end of today. Leo Lund's the one trying to forge a battle. He's trying to stay in contention, and every time he finds himself alongside, it is the dive bombs. It is the intent to try and keep this position as well. He knows that at this point it's Angelo Di Ortenzio who's the one who doesn't need to take the risks, but Leo Lund, after those 2 results that we were mentioning that have cost him this season, 30 points away, he finds himself in the points battle to Di Ortenzio. So from this point onwards, in the final 5 races, it has to be full out attack driving as he tries to claw the advantage back.
Certainly, as unfortunately it seems Florian Vanzelter has disconnected from the session. That is not ideal for him. And here comes Leo Lund, looking to attack to the inside of Angelo D'Ortenzio once again. The Red Bull versus the Ferrari in towards turn 12 and 13, and it's still side by side. It's a bit of bumping, it's a bit of barging by these two as they make their way through. Leo Lund does get ahead for now. Will Angelo look to fight back up the inside? No. Stays in P2. Leo Lund takes the lead of this race ahead of Angelo D'Ortenzio, and this is some brilliant, hard, fair racing between our top 2, and probably our top 2, I think, over the course of the season. Absolutely brilliant from these guys, and Leo Lund now in that advantageous position. But Luca Rapassa, he's not going to be waiting around. Give it 3 or 4 laps, he'll be wanting to get involved. He'll be looking to stick his nose in and possibly look to fight for the lead himself, as he would like to take a race win, as I don't believe he's had one all season long, as Florian luckily jumps back into the session.
Yep, absolutely. It has only actually been one podium in total for Rapasa. So he would absolutely love for this to be the day where he can get a second podium, but then do it on the top step. He'll absolutely hope as well. But yes, what a race this is turning into. We've been waiting and hoping for a battle like this this season as well. We've been so used to drivers being in control, drivers basically having the rights when it comes to the race victory very early on, but in this one it looks like that this one's going the distance. Lund brings the gap, but Diortensio knows what he's doing, and he will immediately have the battery to try and claw it back in. All of this battling, though, doesn't really mean that Repass is with them. We have Hietala, who's also there as well, closing in. Stachulek, of course, has a penalty, but he's there, and Ranieri also is arriving on the scene. So this is going to become a train the more that they continue to fight on this lap. Not close enough for Angelo Diortensio, but now he'll just try to keep it within that 1 second, as we see Liam Stevens also fight his way through, and he is using the advantage of those fresher tyres to get past Rishan Jacobs.
Yeah, brilliant move there by Liam. Was a little bit far back into turn 11, but went for the send and got it done. So fair play there to Stevens. Jumps up into 8th place and will like to get back within a second of his teammate Jan Halliday as we continue our way on. And then, of course, we can see at the front, actually, Leo Lund nearly gapping Angelo Diortensio, and that's probably why he was looking to get past. Maybe he knows he's got a little bit more peak pace currently over Angelo, so wants to get ahead and then try and pull a 1 second gap. If he can do that, that could be the race done and dusted here for Leo Lund. But, of course, Angelo will push. He now knows that Leo will be looking to try and extend to over a second, so he's got to try and keep with him. But it's looking like he's struggling here, does Angelo.
It does indeed, unless he really believes that he can absolutely control this and fight his way through as well. So we'll assess how it goes over the next few laps, I should say, rather, as well, because we have seen Diortensio go down to that 9/10 range before and then immediately claw it back in and immediately get himself back into contention. So we'll see how he plays it. He's put himself in positions to fight a lot in races, and it definitely looked like he was gaining a lot of time down that straight, so possibly using a bit of extra battery that time, because he's starting to realize what Leo Lund's intentions are, and he's immediately getting himself straight onto the back of that Red Bull. So it is some great fighting, some great tactics coming into play. It is basically react to whatever your rival is doing at that moment. So Diortensio will be well aware of what is going on in front of him, and Hietala will soon have to be doing the same, because now he is inside that 1 second.
Certainly isn't. Hietala will be looking to make moves as this race goes on. Would love to get to the podium. Of course, if I remember correctly, only what you mentioned earlier, was it a highest position of 10th here in a race?
Tony Hietala, a contender this season, and yeah, twice he's been 10th, but that's been his best result this season.
So a P4 would be out of this world for Tony, I think. So we'll certainly be looking to push forward here. I'm sure he took a pole as well earlier in the season, if I remember correctly as well. Yep. If not, he took one somewhere. I know he took one somewhere at least. So, yeah, definitely not ideal for Tony, considering we know he's got the pace to be up there. Just can't quite fix it together in the races. But he's going to continue his way on now and look to get past Luca Rapassa, potentially, if he can try and claw some of that gap then. And I think, on terms of raw pace and with the way that this track works, it's not going to be something he'll just pull to be. He's not just going to be able to pull to the back of him and make a move. He's going to need the top three to argue and fight. That's what he's going to need here for him to get up into that podium.
Absolutely, but the great thing that he'll be happy from this round is he's giving himself a chance to be in that position. Yeah. We've had a safety car, for example, at Silverstone, but you're never there. You're never there to capitalize if you aren't in those positions already. So what he's done this round is, of course, secure a decent qualifying, find himself running in a good position. So if there is any fireworks, then he's there to capitalize, and he's there to get a podium, get a win, and if not, still a 4th place will be very good for a driver who's been trying to achieve something like this for so long as well this season. Considering the campaign that he's had, it would mean a lot if he is able to get into a 4th by the end of today as well. But he's got drivers closing in. Keep an eye on Halliday, who will be trying to fight his way through. Stevens is there, so the Aston Martins could be ones to watch as well, with some dive bomb moves coming possibly in the next few laps. But once again, 9 tenths, 8 tenths, it looks like D'Ortenzio losing a bit of time to Leo Lund, and then he gets to work, and then he makes sure that it stays within that 1 second, so he has that DRS.
Oh, as Liam Stevens there takes a 3-second time penalty, not ideal for his race. Really not ideal there for Liam Stevens, so even though he's going to still get a P8 at least because of Rishan Jacobs being 4 seconds back, it's probably not going to be anything higher here for Stevens. Big shame indeed for the Aston Martin driver. And of course we can see Jan Halliday looking to close up quickly now on the back of Pasquale Ranieri. Of course ahead of everybody, bar Rapassa, Jan Halliday has a 4-lap offset. And then of course for Luca Rapassa it's a 3-lap offset. So we're going to have to see if this can work for the Aston Martin team. As we have got a yellow flag, that's Andre Molnar around at turn number 9, top of the hill.
It is indeed, so he finds himself at a moment, one of the star drivers of the season as well. His reserve performance, especially at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, was absolutely remarkable, and then also in Hungary, getting a 2nd place as well. So the 2 races that he's actually done with us this season, it has been a remarkable performance as well. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to be heading that way by the end of today's race. On to lap number 22, we tick our way onto now, and once again it is Angelo D'Ortenzio just reacting to whatever Lund does, and all of these drivers very close together. Talking about close together, Halliday with a move up the inside of Ranieri, who won't have the grip to fight back on the exit, and that is Halliday who arrived into the first turn and took 6th place. Next up is going to be P5 for Halliday.
Indeed, a nice move there by Jan. Nicely calm and collected there by the Aston Martin, and can push forward and try and get past the Alpine within the next few laps. And if he can get it done by maybe lap 25, there's maybe an outside chance he could get involved in that battle closer to the front of this race. Of course, Angelo in the last couple of laps has brought that gap down slightly to Leo Lund, but of course needs to be wary, because Leo Lund is very capable of pulling that gap to around 8 or 9 tenths as we head down towards turn 11. And you can see there the gap down to 3 tenths of a second here between our 2 leaders. Luca Rapassa as well, sitting there waiting for something to happen ahead for him to get involved and jump into that top 2 potentially. As Benjamin Okoye gets ahead of Larry Sulke, and that's another yellow flag. Is that Andre Molnar again? It is. Just before where he spun last time out, as Liam Stevens jumps ahead of Pasquale Ranieri.
Absolutely tidy stuff indeed, as they make their way through, and now it is 2 tenths of a second. Now it is beginning to get tasty once again, as D'Ortenzio really has closed in as well. And also I'd like to say, of course, from this F2 commentary box, huge welcome of course to Sim Racing Setups, who is now PSGL's title sponsor for PCF1 and also the main tiers as well. It is great to have them on board, and you can get 5% off as well with using the code PSGL at the checkout as the battling continues, the racing continues, and that's tight stuff as Halliday roaring his way by, and Stauchilek having to go off the road as Halliday fights her way through.
What a move that was there by Jan Halliday. That was a bit touch and go there between the Aston Martin and the Alpine, but he's got to be making these moves, and he's making them at the correct points, as now he sits in P5 on the back of Tony Hirtala, who's his next target in this race. And Liam Stevens as well will be looking to hunt down and get past Piotr Stakelek as quickly as possible, as yes, unfortunately both Aston Martins, McLarens are now out of this race. Only 14 will emerge as we do see a battle for the lead of the race between Leo Lund and Angelo D'Ortenzio. The camera angles are poor. I couldn't quite catch the entry, but we can catch the exit. Leo Lund still stays ahead, but a better exit there by Angelo. He's going to look to take it around the outside into turn number 15. This could be a brilliant move. It's going to be a shove wide potentially by Leo Lund, who keeps himself in the lead once again, but Angelo knows he wants to get into that leading spot. He wants to be the leader of this race.
Does indeed. And well, first it was Leo Lund, the driver with that intent. Now it's Angelo D'Ortenzio, who's trying to do the exact same, and all the while Rapassa is going to be beginning to get even more impatient, and he'll want to be fighting his way through as soon as possible. Another driver who'll want to do that is the man on the charge, Jan Halliday. Another place gained as he goes into turn 1, and now he's in P4 as he's been P3 4 races in a row, and he's right now a step away from that position, but he'll want beyond that. He'll want to go further on the charge. Let's see what is going to be possible for him if the top drivers continue to fight in this race. They're going to give Jan Halliday absolutely all the opportunities.
They certainly will, and Tony didn't even bother fighting that one. He's just like, right, Jan, go through you quicker. There's no point risking him going for a send. He might as well just let him through and stay in the top 5. But there we go. As it now stands, the top 3 is the same, but Jan Halliday enters the top 4 on those newer tyres. He could certainly look to pose a threat as this race goes on. Angelo closing in, but this time around choosing to sit back behind Leo Lund as Andre Molnar is into the pits once again. A big, big shame for him, not the race he would have been hoping for. But of course, sometimes once you make one mistake, Omi, you just make more and more as the race goes on, and eventually you think, well, I might as well retire. But luckily, he's going to continue on, so you've got to give him a pat on the back for that one.
Do indeed. And yes, continuing on, that is what we absolutely love, because if you go and look at a lot of the results that we've had this season, you will see quite a few retirements, and well, a lot of them are due to the drivers who find themselves making those constant mistakes and then just end up retiring. So we do thank the ones that do go on and continue to put on a show for us. Well, we're heading into turn number 1 with a battle for the lead and a battle for P3 as well. Di Ortenzio can't get through. What about Jan Halliday going for the widest line we've ever seen? And Angelo Di Ortenzio is tucked all over the back, trying to make a move into the S section, which I've never seen, and neither will you, because he couldn't do it, and he'll still be stuck in second place. He'll have to stay in behind and wait for an opportunity down the start finish straight. But now this is where it is getting tasty. Halliday went for it, couldn't also fight her way through. So the top 4 in order at the moment as we plunge down towards turn number 11.
What an ending that we are destined for here in PCF2, round 8 of the championship. And Leo Lund, he might not be anywhere, he might be nowhere near the championship lead, but believe me, he's fighting like he's looking to try and defend a championship lead here this evening. He tucks all the way to the inside line. This allows Angelo to go for a bit of a switcheroo. Goes to the outside in towards turn number 11. Can he get through? He's going to go for the up and under. Look for a switch back here on Leo Lund. Into turn 13 they go. Leo Lund still keeps ahead in P1. A bit of a tap there from the rear of Leo Lund from Angelo D'Ortenzio. Angelo goes up to the inside into turn 15. There's contact. Leo Lund for a moment, I think, went sideways. Luca Rapassa goes through. Good book gets a penalty. Jan Halliday as well goes through up into 3rd place. And Angelo D'Ortenzio drops into P4.
Halliday trying to get past them all into turn number 19. My word, he's taken 2nd place. Rapassa's got a penalty. Di Ortenzio drops down to 4th. And the fireworks that we mentioned came at Imola have now arrived at Austin, Texas. Di Ortenzio and Lund going for it completely in the final stages. Opens the door for Jan Halliday to think about a move. And now Rapassa's trying to go around the outside. The race coming alive in a way we haven't seen all season long. Does the Aston Martin driver inch ahead? Rapassa in 2nd place. Only for a moment. Does he go for the lead? He's going to back out of that one. And Leo Lund is going to maintain P1. Rapassa with a penalty. He'll argue that one later on. And Halliday back down to 3rd.
We haven't seen battling like this in a long, long time here on the F125 game. And what a delivery we've got with 2 laps to go. Leo Lund leads as Angelo D'Ortenzio drops down to P4. We've got Liam Stevens, Pasquale Ranielli on the attack as well. Here Tala defending from the Aston Martin of Stevens. There's contact. They're 3 wide heading down towards turn number 11. But what can Jan Halliday do? Can he try and jump up into P2 and get ahead of Luca Rapassa? He's gaining in. Luca's going for the lead. He's going for a massive send into turn 11. There's a slight bit of contact as they make their way through. And Leo Lund still keeps on to that lead. And now Jan's going to go to the inside of Luca to try and take that P2 away. There's contact again as they make their way towards turn number 15. We also see Luca Rapassa go ahead of Leo Lund.
Absolutely, Halliday's got the inside line now, trying to find his way through back into 2nd place, and he has got that position secured for the moment as we're about to head on to the penultimate lap in this contest now. Halliday all out of it as Rapassa now will make his way right onto the back. He's nudging him through the 20th and final corner on this circuit, and now it's all about what kind of battery do you have to deploy down towards the 1st corner. Lund's got the advantage, and Halliday and Rapassa are directly in there, and don't count out Angelo Di Ortenzio. This is a battle where it's swinging left and right because now Liam Stevens, who has a penalty to his name, trying for the move into the 1st turn.
What an ending this could be here in PSGL F2. 2 laps to go in this race. Leo Lund leads ahead of Jan Halliday. Rapassa's in third with a penalty. I'm sure he'll try and debate that one in the Showdown, as that was when he took the move ahead of Leo Lund temporarily. And then, of course, Angelo is currently sitting in that fourth spot. Of course, being hard done by was contact between himself and Leo Lund into turn 15 that allowed Halliday and Rapassa through. And let's see, can Jan Halliday look to take the lead away from Leo Lund as we head down towards turn 11? I don't think he's close enough this time around. I think Jan Halliday is looking to save battery for that final lap in this race, and that could certainly throw some fuel into the fire. And then, of course, further back as well, the gaps are starting to increase as we head through the final sector for the penultimate time in this race. It's all down to London Halliday unless somebody further back can get involved themselves.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be absolutely wild stuff across this battle as well, as Molnar finds himself with a moment as he comes into the pit lane. It is wild around this circuit. Imtiaz is banging wheel to wheel at the moment with Tulki, who's getting himself back to the position. But we're about to go on to the final lap of the race. Lund and Halliday close together. Rapassa with a penalty to his name at the moment, close in behind as well. This could be absolutely wild stuff. Around 5.5 kilometers and 3.4 miles. We're on the last tour in Austin, Texas.
We certainly are. And Jan Halliday sets his sights on a victory here in PSGL PCF2. Has taken many podiums, but never taken a victory here this season so far. As we do see further back there, Hietala dropping below. Bench Shabakonyi, he's gone for the two-stop and he's up into the top 8. What a result this could be for Bench Shabakonyi. But here's the battle that we all want to see. It's Leo Lund and Jan Halliday. Down into turn 10 they go. Leo Lund, of course, is, I think made a bit of a mistake into the braking zone. He certainly has, because Jan Halliday's all over the back of the Red Bull. As we now head down to turn 11 for the final time in this race. It's a last lap. It's a last lap lunge potentially here for Jan Halliday as Leo Lund takes the inside line. Jan has to go to the outside as they make their way through. There's contact again. Off the track goes Jan Halliday. Luca Rapassa as well looking to go through. Leo Lund's still in that top spot, but Jan Halliday's alongside. He's going to try and push and get into the lead. But we've got Leo Lund still in that inside line. He's still looking to keep that lead. And Jan Halliday's now got the inside line on him. Heading into turn number 16. This could be side by side into turn 19.
It really could. Halliday's got the inside and he's got the advantage. Does Lund experiment into the 19th corner? He can't do it. He has to back out of it. As we arrive down towards turn number 20, it will be Jan Halliday, the reigning PCF2 champion, comes across the line to win in Austin, Texas. Leo Lund's in second after a crazy fight between them all, and Di Hortensio provisionally will be third position because Rapassa drops down due to the penalty, and it was absolutely wild stuff till the end. But after third on 4 occasions in a row, finally a trip to the top step, and Halliday, well, he took his first stint quite a lot longer and he got his reward at the end with a lot of grip and a lot of on-track advantage, and he used that grip to perfection to go for that move.
Indeed, and what an ending we had there. And it was Jan Halliday who came out as victor ahead of Leo Lund, and Angelo D'Ortenzio still in that top 3 ahead of Pasquale Ranieri, who fought up to 4th place after starting in the top 9. And Shabakonyi, 13th to 5th, only driver to go for the two-stop strategy. Then we had Luca Rapassa, Tony Hietala, Liam Stevens, Piotr Staklek, and Richard Jacobs the top 10. Then we had Florian Fanzelta, Ray Simchaz, and Larry Tulki, all of our cars that finished this race.
Indeed, could be another race which heads to the stewards' room as well. We've had lots of reports with our title contenders being involved across the season. So we'll see what happens, and we'll make sure to keep you up to date with that one ahead of Suzuka in round number 9 as well. But for now, it is that moment in time where the drivers get to enjoy after a fantastic race, and I looked ahead to the next round.
Certainly, and hopefully we'll hear from a couple of our podium sitters there after that race. We'll quickly jump up over to that screen and see if anyone wants to pop in for a chat. But what an ending it was to that race. And Leo Lund, even though he's so far back in the championship, he's trying his best just to try and take as many points away from Angelo D'Ortenzio as possible. And I suppose he did attempt it, but it was more the fact they had contact, not the fact he got that overtake done and dusted.
Absolutely. That was ludicrous. That was wild. And yes, one of those races where we'll definitely want to remember this season, considering how that one went from start to finish and really heated up. And that's what you want from a race at the end of the day. You want it to go till the end as well. You want a fight between those drivers on that final lap where we don't know who's going to win, and that is absolutely what we got. And I guess it prepares us well for the remaining races of this season, the remaining 4 that we have to crown our champion.
Indeed, and we do have Jan Harday in the waiting room, so we'll quickly pop him up into the commentary box. Jan, welcome in. Can you hear us?
Yep, can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can indeed. But what a perfect race that was. Of course, qualifying, not ideal, but the race went really, really well. Of course, you went for that overcut, and of course we heard, well, I heard at least, that the overcut wasn't the strategy to go. So was it more just testing that strategy and just seeing if it would possibly work out in the end? Was it always going to be a bit of a risk?
Honestly, yeah, like you said, quali was not really ideal. Like, probably not for pole, but could have been top 3 super easily. So I was like, we can do some old strat to try something, because if I do the same as everyone else, there is no advantage to it. So, yeah, it was a bit of a risk, and I guess it paid off as well. I did more race prac than quali prac for this race, so that paid off as well, and yeah, I'm super happy.
Certainly, and it was a brilliant move on Leo Lund on the final lap of the race. You did get yourself ahead just about, and I presume that you always thought that Leo Lund is going to put up a battle. So I suppose would you have preferred someone else to fight on the last lap than Leo Lund?
Yeah, like Leo is a very aggressive driver,
Yeah.
and you always have to think about that. Like he pushed me off into that hairpin at the end of the main straight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was not ideal, but I still managed to, the tire advantage was so big, so it was quite easy for me to, out-traction him completely, like everywhere. So yeah, I knew I have a big chance out of the double left because that's where I feel like I'm quite strong, also on the traction. So yeah, I did just that, and yeah, it went just as I thought.
Certainly, and it puts it now 5 podiums in a row. Of course, a win and 3rd places. It will put you ahead of Leo London. I think you'll be like 5 points back from Liam. So obviously, I don't think the championship's on the charge because Angelo has completely led the way. But do you still think P2 is possible here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think if I didn't miss few races, because I'm gonna miss some in the future as well, I would be able to fight for the champ as well. Like, fair play to Angelo, he's super fast, like in quali mainly. But I think I'm quite strong in the races.
Yeah.
Like I'm quite consistent as well. So yeah, I'm hoping for P2, and we'll see what happens.
Indeed. But well, that's all from me. So congratulations on the win. Anything from you, Ome?
Nothing at all, personally. That was a brilliant drive from you once again, and hopefully we're able to see you getting those podiums more as you've managed to get, well, now 5 in a row.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Indeed.
See ya.
Bye-bye. So there we go. A great chat there with Jan Harday, and I don't think anybody else is going to pop in for it. Time to say our farewells. What an event this has been, and I mean, I got subbed in for pretty much the perfect race, I think. Really good action between our top 5 towards the end. I mean, at one point we had the top 7 all battling for positions which were all coinciding with each other, so it could have been any of those guys on the podium in the end. And of course, penalties, which have already came through for drivers like Luca Rapassa, who probably shouldn't have got a penalty because he went off the track to avoid contact. And then also we saw lots of contact as well in that top 3, so I'm sure penalties could apply there as well. So I don't think it's quite over just yet, is it, Omi? I think this one might go to the Showdown.
Yeah, judging by what we've had this season, if we're going through what we've had in terms of race wins, all of the battling that we've actually had between race leaders across this season, they've all resulted in being decided in the steerage room. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get that once again. But other than that, it's been quite an interesting day and quite an interesting evening of action. And, well, bring on the remaining 4 races of the season because, well, today's proven that it is still all to play for.
Yep, it certainly is, of course. Angelo still has that advantage in the championship, but it will come down by a few points, certainly. So, of course, a big thank you to everybody who joined in this evening for the PCF2 action. A brilliant race here around Kota. And, of course, next time we're back for round number 9. 3 races to go in this championship to decide who will be the champion of Season 40 of PSGL. So, from me, And from Omi, it's a farewell and a good night.